We head to the fire temple, where Liu Kang sees the Solnados. Didn't know the Ying fortress was this close to the fire temple.
Aren't you lucky?
Garrus shows up and reveals the worst news possible.
All evidence points to the presence of a second timeline.
That's right, we had time travel in the last game. Now we have...
No, don't do it!
Multiverse.
Kill me.
We'll deal with that tragedy later. Right now, Outworld has declared war against Earthrealm, and Liu Kang must quell this conflict. Liu Kang heads to Outworld. Chapter 10. Li Mei.
Estrada, can you serve? No, serve the country.
The portal is guarded by Li Mei and her constables. It's more heavily guarded now, most likely due to the events of Chapter 7. Li Mei does not let Liu Kang pass. So then Liu Kang picks all the correct dialogue options.
I am to let no one pass.
I must see Her Majesty.
She no longer seeks my counsel, and I doubt she's interested in yours.
The Empress has been deceived. Shang Tsung and General Shao have fomented this crisis as a means to steal her throne.
Shang Tsung? I knew he couldn't be trusted. My palace sources told me he arrived out of nowhere, and immediately had the Empress's ear.
He gained her trust by treating Princess Melina's condition. She is afflicted with Tarkat disease.
Tarkat? The Empress must be beside herself.
Li Mei, Empress Sindel needs our help. Will you join me?
I failed the royal family once. I won't do so again.
So Li Mei agrees to help Liu Kang save Outworld. They then head to Sindel's palace, but they get ambushed by Reiko and his soldiers. So Li Mei fights back. You are now back at the Sundo stage, but instead of it being nighttime, it's daytime. After the festival, people seem to be going back to work. The piggyback duel are back from the festival. I wonder if they've been going at it all day. There are two people who seem to be arguing.
Now what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop! No! Oh God!
You're such a dick!
Miss Input, calm down! You calm down!
And my favorite has got to be this guy, who is really into your fighting. Li Mei wins. But before we move on with the story, I think it's a proper time for me to do this. Let's break it down. Reiko. If Nitara and Havik are fighting for who's the worst character on the roster, then Reiko definitely gets the bronze medal. He's as generic goes. He shows up, tries to look tough, gets beat up, rinse and repeat. It's honestly hard to find interesting things to talk about with him. I guess something I kind of admire from NRS, but also find to be a detriment, is that they didn't go with the obvious betrayal plot. In the OG timeline, Reiko worked for Shao Kahn, but he always had ambitions to betray and take over Shao Kahn. In M1K, he's got none of that. He's really loyal to General Shao.
I'll follow the general to the bitter end.
Like, really loyal.
I will bring you victory or die.
I don't get your blind loyalty to Shao.
The general is a great man. I am bound to General Shao by blood.
You should hold command, not Shao.
You cannot pit me against him, sorcerer.
I've treated you like a beloved son.
And I will follow you into the deepest valley.
Admit it, you're more lapdog than soldier.
A dog, am I? See how I bite.
I think he likes being called that.
There is something seriously wrong with you.
But being very loyal makes for a very generic character. Something that I don't critique much that I want to bring up here is the gameplay aesthetics. Not gameplay. That's a whole different conversation. But gameplay aesthetics. Despite my hatred for Havik and Nitara in the story, I think their gameplay looks absolutely fantastic. And it's an awesome modernization of their characters. Reiko, however, punches, kicks, and tackles. That's all. Very plain. He possesses a knife on his character, and he shows off a spear in the character select screen. You can also see these weapons during the intro animation. Mid-round victory pose, fatal blow, brutality victory pose, arcade ending, and in one of his fatalities. Oh boy. Sure can't wait to use these during gameplay. He doesn't.
Why did you do this?
You can actually see him using the spear in a boss fight in invasions mode. So this suggests to me that this guy was rushed out, which might explain why he's much more lackluster compared to the rest. And in a roster filled with crazy and wacky characters, his moves really don't stand out. He looks like he fits more in Tekken. The only unique thing about him is that he's one of the only true grappler type characters in the game. But like, if they wanted to add a grappler, I would have preferred Jax or KK. Overall, I think the biggest issue with Reiko is that I wasn't looking forward to him even before he got announced. I'm glad for the fans who wanted him, but I needed NRS to convince me why he's cool. Show me some crazy MK4 combos, bring back the hammer from Armageddon, let him use blood magic from the comics, but they gave him none of that, so he's just kind of basic. And his story is kind of forgettable too. I already forgot about him. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. Li Mei.
Arrest them. Arrest the horse. Get the horse.
They continue to Sindel's palace and get ambushed by Tanya and Chameleon.
Let us pass, Tanya. Let us pass. Let us pass, guys. Tanya, pass the. Let us smash or pass. Just let us adore you. You shall not pass. Let us pass the pass to bypass the pass, Tanya. Pass out, Tanya. Pass.
They fight.
We waste precious time, Tanya.
We waste precious time, Tanya.
They beat them, then get ambushed by the rest of the Umgadi. Then Li Mei gives a very heartfelt speech to her old comrades to convince them to let them pass.
I may no longer be welcome, but in my heart, I am still Umgadi. I will always honor my vows. Stand with us and let us pass.
So they agree and escort her to the Empress.
How dare you, Li Mei? It's not enough that you let Jared be murdered. You let Liu Kang destroy the rest of my family?
Objection. My heart broke when your husband died. I know you may never forgive me. But let us pass.
I guess that heartfelt speech she gave meant nothing with how fast the Umgadi betray her. Tanya tries to tap into the powers of the ropes, but unlike the chosen one Scorpion, she is unable to wield that power. Li Mei fights Katana. Tanya is a Kamiya fighter here, so she is only pretending to be defeated.
Are you so easily?
Even though they are in a dire situation, Sindel and Melina are just calmly enjoying the show. Li Mei wins. Melina wants to fight, and Sindel tries to stop her due to not wanting to trigger her target symptoms. But Melina ignores her and fights anyways. Something kind of sad here is that in the past, Li Mei taught both Katana and Melina how to fight.
I remember teaching you that, princess. You were but a girl. I fondly remember training you and your sister.
Melina does a successful first strike, but then gets countered when she tries it again. That is what you get for spamming the same move spammer.
You never think.
Then tragedy strikes, and Melina's target symptoms emerges. She attacks her mother. Li Mei quickly gets Melina off her, and she fights her. Melina will have no size in her hands just like in chapter 4. Even though Sindel is shocked on the ground, she still has enough time to get back to her throne to spectate the fight.
Sindel, you're just sitting on the throne! Come on! You're just watching us? Oh no, Melina, don't. Hey, you know what, whatever, I'm gonna chill on this throne now. Having fun, Sindel?
I cannot harm her.
I must be careful, I can't harm her. I must not hurt her. I have to be very careful. Just give her a neck massage, there we go. Must not hurt her.
Something funny I find about these fights is that if you lose to any of them in chapter 10, Sindel's reign will basically fall to General Shell. But like, isn't Fire God Liu Kang here to prevent an ultimate defeat? I feel like there is no way he could get defeated here. Li Mei calms down Melina.
Tarkat makes victims of us all.
As Tanya pulls out the syringe to turn Melina back to normal, either Shang-Tsung made a bunch of backups, or the royal family have found a way to replicate the serum.
Praise Argus.
Sindel thanks Li Mei for saving her daughter, and this quells the conflict between the two sides. And that's pretty much chapter 10. The biggest thing I want to talk about in this chapter is Li Mei's character. So, let's break it down. Li Mei. The funny thing about Li Mei to me is she had the same issue as Reiko. I had no interest in the return of Li Mei. And if she came back, NRS would have to prove to me why she's cool.
But it's gonna take more than that to impress me.
Whoever decided to give her firework powers deserves a raise. But it's not just her gameplay aesthetics that are great. Her character is pretty good too. I think Li Mei has the strongest start in the game. In chapter 3, our introduction to Li Mei is Melina shit-talking her.
First constable, let us pass.
As Liu Kang explains the situation, Li Mei used to be the leader of the Umgadi. Warrior priestess is trained to defend the royal family. On one unfortunate night, King Jared was murdered, and it was on her watch when it happened. Even if it wasn't her fault, it is still her responsibility. She was to be punished for this, and it's safe to assume the punishment is going to be pretty fucked up. But Li Mei found a loophole. If she was not a member of the Umgadi, she could escape punishment. So she left the Umgadi, and became the leader of the constables. From an outsider's point of view, this is a cowardly behavior.
She quit in disgrace rather than accept punishment.
However, to Li Mei, she's doing this because she believes she still has more to offer to Outworld, and she can't do that if she's infected by Target. So she still helps the royal family in her own way. Even if they despise her, Li Mei's first chance of redemption comes from the tournament. She is the first opponent the champion of Earthrealm faces, and Li Mei is only here due to King Jared's traditions.
As tradition requires, Outworld's initial competitor will be Sundo's first constable.
Sindel probably hates Li Mei more than anyone in Outworld, but even she will abide by her husband's traditions.
Remember, were it not for Jared's tradition, you would not be here.
So this fight is extremely important to Li Mei. This is her chance to prove herself, to defend Outworld's glory. That leaving the Umgadi to fight another day was worth it.
This fight is more important to me than you can ever know.
And unfortunately, she loses. She takes a BO and leaves disgracefully. Such a tragic start to a character, and such a great setup for Li Mei. It really makes you sympathize with her, and makes you want to see her succeed. And she gets a second chance. In chapter 10, Liu Kang brings news about General Shao and Shang Tsung usurping the throne, and Li Mei tries to save the royal family. It's here that I realized something important about Li Mei's character. She is not doing all this to redeem herself. A lot of times, these type of characters are motivated by redemption. They must restore honor to themselves.
He took my honor.
There is more to life than honor.
But Li Mei could care less about that. She is willing to throw away everything she's worked for.
Once again, you prove incapable of protecting the royal house.
Betray the trust of everyone she knows.
Your faithlessness astounds, Li Mei.
And have everyone hate her.
You let Liu Kang destroy the rest of my family?
Just to be able to deliver Liu Kang's message. Li Mei's character reminds me of a story we were taught in Chinese class. The Monk and the Scorpion. One day, a monk was just chilling by the river, as they see a scorpion struggling in the water. So the monk saves it. The scorpion stings the monk, as they put the scorpion back on land. Sometime later, the scorpion crawls back into the water. The monk saves it, and the scorpion stings them again. Then sometime later, the whole thing repeats again. A stranger walks by, and says, "That bitch stung you 3 times. Why do you keep saving it? Are you stupid?" And the monk replies, "The nature of water is wet. The nature of a scorpion is to sting. And the nature of man is compassion. And I will not let the scorpion's nature change mine." Even though Li Mei is getting stung by the royal family, she is still going to do everything she can to help them.
I know you may never forgive me, but don't be blinded by anger and grief. We are here to help you.
Now at this point, I should just put Li Mei as an S tier on the story character tier list and call it a day. However, there are some glaring issues with this character. For starters, what do Shiva from MK11 and Li Mei from M1K have in common? They both serve the royal family. They both feel responsible for one of their deaths. They both simp for Sindel. And most importantly, they beat the shit out of people until they listen.
Return Liu Kang to the...
Are you so easily taken in? Your faithlessness astounds.
Much has changed.
Thank you. I am in your debt.
Oh my gosh. If I beat people, they will listen to me. Why am I not Khan? Look, I get that this is a fighting game, and they need excuses to get characters to fight, but holy shit, the amount of crimes Li Mei has committed are enormous. Working with Earthrealm, the realm they're about to go to war against, failed to guard the portal, attack the military of Outworld, attack the Umgadi, takes the leader of the Umgadi as hostage, barges into Sindel's palace uninvited, attacks both princesses of Outworld. Any one of these crimes is enough to be punished via infected with Tarkat, but all is forgiven, because she subdued Melina. I mean, I'm not saying this isn't a good thing, but that's all it takes to overwrite all of this. But my bigger issue is this all has nothing to do with warning them about General Shao and Shang Tsung, the whole reason Li Mei revolted against the royal family. But Li Mei is chill with them now. And my even bigger issue is that Li Mei still got King Jared killed. The whole reason why everyone hates her still hasn't changed, and yet, it seems like she has been completely forgiven. Okay, I know I've been throwing the word big too many times, but my real, actual, massive, biggest issue I have with Li Mei is that the climb was too easy. The entire game has been setting up this impossible mountain Li Mei has to overcome. But once chapter 10 arrives, she just magically teleports to the peak. She beats a couple of grunts, and then all is forgiven. I don't like this. I don't think she should be able to get everything resolved this easily. There's another character in this game that has a similar struggle, but is handled much better. Baraka. It's funny, you know, every time I complain about a character, and I need an example to convey my points, I just point to Baraka.
Finally, a benefit to my disease.
Baraka spends the entire game helping the heroes, and helping his people, and by the end, he is still going to suffer and die brutally to Tarkat. Some people don't get happy endings, but Baraka still helps others regardless of his own fate. That's what makes this tragic character awesome. Even though Li Mei defeats all her enemies, saves the princess, and delivers the warning to save Outworld, I still don't think she should be forgiven for King Jared's death. Put yourself in Sindel's shoes. You are told that Li Mei got your husband killed, and she gets no punishments, and is now the head of the constables. If I were the queen, I would still resent Li Mei to this day. I would still carry that hatred in my heart years after my husband died. Okay, it's time to get into some off-topic nerdy shit. I wondered how long has Sindel been mourning King Jared's death, and that led to the question of, when did King Jared die? While we don't have a conclusive answer, there are some clues to help us out. In chapter 3, Liu Kang points out how grandiose the ceremony is.
I see that Her Majesty once again spares no expense on the festival.
Should she not? It commemorates my late father.
Considering that this is a tournament to commemorate King Jared, that means he was alive the last time Outworld had a tournament. So his death happened within the last 100 years. But we can do better with this intro dialogue.
Your husband's murder haunted my father.
All those close to Jared were devastated.
So we know that the old Grandmaster was still alive when Jared was murdered. Now take this with a grain of salt. But I think King Jared first met the old Grandmaster in the last tournament 50 years ago. Sindel has an intro where she talks about the old Grandmaster's skills.
Both your parents were excellent fighters.
And even Baraka knew of Sector's father.
Give my regards to Longwei.
You know my father?
So I think this heavily implies that the Lin Kui participated in the last tournament. And I think narratively speaking, this would be the perfect way for the Grandmaster and the King to meet for the first time. So in conclusion, I believe King Jared died within the last 50 years. Thank you all for indulging in my crazy game theory episode. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. After Li Mei saves Melina, I think Sindel can start to doubt her own hatred towards Li Mei. But I don't think she's ready to forgive her yet. I feel like the perfect response Sindel could give here comes from The Last of Us 2. Yeah, I know we all hate this game, but I do think this line here fits very well.
I don't think I can ever forgive you for that. But I would like to try.
Overall, despite my issues, I still think this is the best chapter in the second half of the story that's filled with shit. And I still really like Li Mei's character in this game. I guess you could say I give her a pass.
Let us pass out, Tanya.
As you wish.
This is unprecedented.
Thank you. I am in your debt.
Give us battle pass, Your Majesty.
I don't think I can ever forgive you for that.